Yes. Welcome to another great episode of the Ashish and Friends podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ashish, and these are my longtime friends and co-hosts. We've got Ryan, we've got Dev. You can reach him up at Instagram and Twitter at Superlaser. We've got Shahan at Shahan J. Raja. And of course, I'm at Ashish Ari on Instagram and Twitter as well. You can always keep up with us at AshishandFriends.com. Please go like and keep up with us on Instagram at Ashish and Friends. Twitter, Ashish and Pals, and we're even on Facebook, facebook.com/Ashish and Friends Pod. Okay, so today we've got another fantastic draft, something we can all relate to really well because it's music. We are going to be drafting our favorite music artist personally. So it's going to be a really opinionated thing, not just like who we think is the greatest of all time, but our personal who's at the top of our playlists. I think right here, it doesn't really matter about the draft order, to be honest. It only depends on the first round between me and Dev, I think. But I think this ranges so much. Like, I have a list of 40 people. So I think I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. Did you guys have what did you guys do to plan this out?
So I was talking about this before we hit record, but basically I thought since we're doing favorite, we're not doing best. I just went to my library and I sorted by artist and the number of songs I had. And that's my draft list, and that's probably the order I'm going to take them in. So, yeah.
No, I did. Go ahead.
For me, it was very much just trying to figure out what direction I wanted to go with this, right? Because like, there's the favorites of all time, there's the favorites of right now, there's what I've listened to the most in the last year, there's things, and for me, music for me is very much something that changes with my moods and my situations. So for me, that was a big part of it too. Is how do you kind of take every situation and kind of boil it into one? So I will say that I think that I kind of have planned it out to where, when we go 4 to 5 rounds, like where I'm picking something different with most of my picks.
Nice.
I just thought about who I would like to listen if I can only take 4 or 5 artists with me to a remote island. Which are the songs that I have?
Yeah, and along those lines, like you talked about getting a diverse set, I tend to listen to artists that do a lot of different styles in general, so I wasn't really too worried that I was going to miss some moods or some emotions with my artist, because I just figured, someone like, say, Jay-Z has 20 albums, there's a song for every mood on there,
Yeah, that's fair. So I followed what you did, Dev, and I went to Spotify, did the artist, and saw how many songs I had for each one. And I just kind of thought about which songs I listened to the most. For me, I listen to a lot of genres, but I also listen to a lot of hip hop. And so for me, it's going to be more recent stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So let's get this order ready. I'm a little scared here. Things might go down between me and Dev, so watch out. And okay, we've got the order, and
do not like the sound of that.
So she's number 1. At number 4, we've got Dev. At
of
number
course.
3 is Ashish. That's me. At number 2, we've got Shahan. And Ryan, once again, you got the number 1 pick, which I think happens quite often, but I'm interested to see where you go, because I think you and Shahan, I'm kind of clueless about. So,
yeah, can we get some statistics on this? Like, Ryan's definitely pulling more number 1s than the rest of us.
I've only had number 1 the past 3 drafts in a row.
Yeah. Man, now I'm like, okay, if this is how it's gonna be, I mean, I got to think, do I have to ruin your guys' whole life? I don't know. We got to see what we're gonna do here.
Oh no. All right, well, Ryan, you've got number 1. Where are you going?
For my first pick, I'm taking the Beatles. I think the Beatles is an all-time band. It influenced many, many different people, and they have iconic songs that are generational lists, and you never get tired. In fact, they made a movie in regards to using the Beatles songs, and I love how their songs range through so many different styles, from the Yesterday to like a more upbeat, like I Love You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. And like, there's so many different feels, and everybody in that band is so great. The Beatles is number 1.
I think that's a fantastic pick. To be honest, I let them off my list for some reason because I don't listen to them that often. But I have a poster up here in my room about them. And, I think, what is my favorite song? Hold Your Hand is like my favorite song, one of the top 10 of all time for me. I really love that song. So really good pick there, I think.
Yeah, Shahan, and for me, I think honestly, like the Beatles has become one of those bands that like has been overanalyzed so much that the internet's decided that they don't like them anymore. But like you talk about their vast, their vast discography. You're talking about many different styles. You're talking about many different genres. You're talking about many different types of music. And I mean, it's unbelievable even now today. Like I mean, I'm a big fan of the Beatles. To think back and realize like, oh, all of these songs were by the Beatles. Like every so often you just get a new song where you're like, wait, I didn't even know they did that song. I think that's a great first pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think
they have 20 number one albums. So
Yeah.
think about how many like total albums they have. That 20 of them are number one. So like the Beatles' discography is just extremely vast.
right. And you can think about like the Jay-Z line saying like, who has more number ones than me? Only the Beatles, nobody ahead of me, right? Like, he's like trying to compete with that. And yeah, great pick. And if you look at their individual lives as well, it's pretty interesting. I'm a huge fan of George Harrison and what he did. He traveled to India, did some like Buddhism, Hinduism stuff, and he actually sang the Hare Rama Hare Krishna song. So awesome pick. Shahan, you've got number 2. Where are we headed?
Well, I think that you just alluded to it right there. All right. So number 2, I'm going with Jay-Z. I think that in a lot of ways, Jay-Z is the Beatles of hip hop. Jay-Z has all the albums. He has all the songs. He has different types of music. He has different collaborations. Like Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time. And I don't even think that it's necessarily that close when you combine the quality of music, the number of songs, the vast discography. Like there are other guys who can compete with him talent-wise, but when you're talking about a career, you're talking about a guy who's obviously spanned 30 years at this point, one of the biggest stars in the history of hip-hop, one of the biggest stars in the history of music. I think that, look, when I'm looking at my list, that's really the one guy that obviously I assume is going to get taken somewhere else, and Jay-Z's number 1 on my list.
Well, yeah, I think me and Dev have talked about him a lot. We love Jay-Z. I think his flow is one of the best of all time. And like you said, definitely one of the best, maybe the best of all time. I think his styles, he has different styles. He can go fast, he can go slow. He has hype up songs. He has like slow, like lyricism type songs. And it's fantastic. Very good pick. I like it.
And the other thing that I'll say is like, obviously, that Jay-Z has all of this, that he's, got all these hits or whatever. But the thing that really grounded it to me was when we went to the concert, and then it was like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. It just kept coming, and all of a sudden it was like, it's been 2.5 hours, and I knew every one of these songs, and all of them were like major hits. And then you realize like, oh my God, and that doesn't even get into obviously some of the B-side stuff. Like it's absolutely insane. I think that Jay-Z's untouchable.
He did a B-sides concert, and like all of the B-sides were amazing.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. It was crazy how much discography Jay-Z has.
Yeah.
Also, I know we're going to get into it later, but this is easily the most screwed any single person has been by draft order. This is like easily the most screwed any person has been by draft order. If you know anything about me, you know that Kanye and Jay-Z are basically it when it comes to the music I listen to. So this is easily the most screwed anyone has been by the draft. I demand a reorder. We need to redo this. This is absolute garbage. I'm so mad.
And can we redo the comedy podcast too? I need that happening. Okay, quick note here. Me and Sean did go to the 444 tour, which was fantastic. One of the best tours of all time. Like you mentioned, I kind of forgot about how many hits he had. And like when he's playing them, then you realize you're like, oh shit, like these are all the classic hits, we grew up with and stuff. And just the whole performance he did, he had like 3 live bands playing music there. He had like big ass screens everywhere. It was spectacular. Well,
insane.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to the number 3 pick. And right here, Dev, I'm going to be super nice here. And I'm going to take psych! I'm going to take Kanye West right here. That's a very easy pick all day. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dev really love Kanye. He loves him like so much more. I can see it on Twitter and stuff. But he's like been my top artist of the past decade for me on Spotify. And for good reason. He always puts out hits. His albums are some of my favorites. Individual songs that even don't get like the radio play or the hype. Some of them have a lot more meaning to me. But yeah, Kanye's just a genius. And whatever you want to say outside of his music, whatever, that's fine. But I grew up listening to him. I grew up with the Graduation album with my brother, bumping that all the time. And him and Big Sean are the only 2 people me and Deb would go to buy CDs for. And yeah, so I'm happy right there getting Kanye West. And
Yeah,
getting
obviously, I think if there's one artist that means more to one person on this draft, Kanye and me is easily like the answer for us here, right? I love Kanye. I've got a hat. I've got a Kanye shirt on. I've got albums. Like I have decorations in my. You can't see it. I've got a Kanye poster right here. Like Kanye is easily my favorite artist of all time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is easily my favorite album ever. I love Kanye. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to do you like that, Dev. That's just how the draft works. But hey, I love you like Kanye loves Kanye. Okay, I just want you to remember
Which
that.
which I did buy. If you see in the background there, Ashish has a tweet by Kanye framed that says "I love you like Kanye loves Kanye." I did buy that for Ashish.
Yes, and I went up to the pop-up shop and got that shirt for Dev. So yeah, I mean, sorry, Dev, but let's see. You got two
Yeah.
back-to-back picks here. You got a lot of ways to go.
Well, so my entire draft strategy was predicated on getting one of Jay-Z or Kanye. So my whole draft is out the window here. So I'm probably gonna just surprise people, and I'm actually gonna take Taylor Swift number 3. So or with number 4, the fourth pick in the draft, I'll take Taylor Swift. I think that when you're talking about an artist who just ruled a decade, the 2010s really was just ruled by Taylor Swift. And I think when we look back at her music long term, you're going to see she had a lot of diverse songs, and even some of the albums that aren't as appreciated by a lot of fans, Reputation, Lover, are still fantastic projects. It's just hard to compare with how great Red in 1989 and her earlier work was.
I knew you would take Taylor Swift, Dev. I knew it.
Yeah. She was definitely going to be someone I was definitely, she was going to be taken by me if I had the chance, but I was really wanted Kanye or Jay-Z.
I
So-
mean, yeah, Jay-Z, Kanye, Taylor, they're all up there. And I mean, we did a special episode for her. So obviously, you got a stunner out here. I mean, yeah, I really thought maybe you or Ryan would pick her at some point. So not too surprised. All right, so you got 2 back-to-back. What are you doing with your second?
Well, when it comes to all-time rappers, there's a lot of great names, and I definitely want to get one of those all-time rappers, but I have to take a newer pick here. His discography's smaller, but I think it's elite. He has just 5 albums, and that's Kendrick Lamar, and I think all 5 are fantastic albums. And when it comes to just the best that hip hop has ever been done, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, both in that conversation. I think Kendrick Lamar's great, lyrical, great musical style, eclectic. He's really the complete package when you're building a hip hop artist. He does a little bit of singing, got multiple voices, like a Wu-Tang Clan member back in the day. He can do those different personalities. I really love Kendrick. I think he's a great artist.
I mean, obviously you missed out on Jay-Z and Kanye, but getting Kendrick, probably, one of the biggest hyped up rappers right now in the game. I think that's a really good pick right there. We actually went to his tour as well. Misha Han and Dev went to, which tour was it? Damn, right?
Yeah.
And that was pretty fantastic.
And now I have one of Ashish's favorite songs ever. I've got Bad Blood on my board. So
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. You do have that song. You've all the rights to that song. I'm very jealous now. My whole draft's ruined. So right here, I'm back on the board. You kind of put me in a weird spot right here because I didn't think you'd take Kendrick. I didn't plan on taking him until later, to be honest. So there's like 3 rappers I'm really considering right here. I have to think about who's going to come back to me, and I think there's a better chance for the other 2 to come back to me. So right here, I'm going to have to take Drake. I went to both of his concerts that happened in Dallas. I don't really love all his music, but he does have those hit singles that are always playing on the radio. Take Care was probably one of the best albums of all time. Views was really good. His previous stuff was really good. I don't like his newer stuff. I'm not a huge fan, but I do have like the second most songs downloaded by him. So, I'll just take Drake here and feel good with having Drake and Kanye on my team right here.
So Drake was actually in my top 5 for most songs downloaded, but I went and looked, and I don't have a single song from him since 2015 downloaded. So I was just like, I can't really justify picking someone who has been making music for 5 years and I don't like any of it. That's not true. I had one song. It's Feel No Ways. but that was the only song from 2015 plus that was downloaded, and I was like, I can't pick Drake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think if you just look at his discography, though, if you look at Take Care, If You're Reading It's Too Late, and Views, those are like some of my most played albums of all time. His later stuff, Scorpion, there's some decent stuff, but it's just way too long to listen to the whole thing and enjoy it. More Life as well, some hits, some misses. But yeah, he does definitely get some of the most plays on my playlist, so I'm good with it. And Shahan,
You
what's
forget
up?
his most iconic song, the Kiki.
That
Yeah,
song is.
Kiki,
I don't think
Love
that's
Me.
his most iconic song.
Well,
I think,
that's what's iconic to me. There's a dance, everybody dances to it, everybody kikis or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, but the Tootsie Slide also has all of that. Like,
right. I think yeah, it definitely got more viral play like video wise, but I don't think that's in his top 5 to be honest. Okay, well Shahan, see, I had to do this because I thought if I left it here, Shahan would get it either with a second or third, so I'm good with it. Shahan, second pick.
All right, well, if we're gonna go Jay-Z number 1, we got to pair the king with the queen here. I'm going Beyonce with my second pick. I think that you talk about R&B singers, sort of pop R&B singers. I think that she's the best going right now. Obviously her star power is untouched right now. And actually, this is actually good timing for this draft because a couple days ago I went back and listened to Lemonade while I was working. That is just such a phenomenal album. Just front to back. It's really one of the best albums that I've ever heard. When you're talking about her too, obviously you can't talk about it without talking about her live shows too. Among the best in the business. So look, I think that I've got the best rapper ever, and I think that I've got the current queen of pop. So I'm in good shape.
you also now have full rights to the Carter's album.
Yeah. I don't know if that's my top priority.
Not that you want it, but you have it.
and the song "Pray" from American Gangster from Jay-Z, really good song. But like you said, you have a
Also
power
Crazy
couple.
in Love.
This
I
doesn't
mean,
count.
probably a
Beyonce's
little bit
talking.
before that.
I don't think that really counts as a Beyonce
But
feature.
dude, no, it does count. But anyways, that's really good. You got a power couple there.
How are you guys going there and not to Crazy in Love? I don't understand this.
Crazy in Love is easily their best collab,
Yeah,
I think.
sure.
Easily.
Yeah,
think
but I mean, I just heard that album last night, so But yeah, no, like you said, power couple.
One of the greatest voices out there. It's so powerful and strong. I mean, she can sing anything, and she makes anything she sings better. Especially live.
I'd argue that
singer.
I'd argue that she has the best pure voice, or at least top 3 at the worst out of any singer going right now.
Where would you put it the other two? Because I think Mariah Carey probably has a better voice than Beyonce.
I think I would probably consider her in the not quite currently going.
That makes sense.
So
yeah.
I'd consider like Beyonce. The other one that immediately comes to mind is like Adele.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's tough, man. Like you're talking about top 3, and I think she's in that conversation for top 5 vocal talents of all time too.
For sure.
Yep. That's one mistake I've done is not go to the On the Run tour. I'm very jealous. I think that would be like an amazing concert to be at. But yeah, really good picks there. Well, Ryan, that leaves you to have 2 back-to-back picks. Where are you headed, Ryan?
Now I know which direction this draft is going, so nobody's going to pick any of my singers, which I'm totally fine with that. But for number 2, I'm picking Ed Sheeran.
I knew it.
I did not know it.
Ed Sheeran isn't arguably, he is the best writer and song singer probably of all time. Like an individual that can go up on a stage with his guitar, his voice, and his lyrics.
Ryan, are you cutting off there? I think he froze up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Oh, hey, Ryan, can you just repeat those last 2 sentences? You cut off a little bit.
As just someone who can go on the stage with just a guitar, his voice, and his lyrics, and do a fantastic job and make millions of people happy, I think that's talent. I mean, he won the Best Lyrics Award with the A-Team. His album after album, he has amazing songs. And then he put out a collab album, collabing with so many different artists. I think even including Beyonce, or he wrote a song for Beyonce. I don't remember. But I mean, he's great all around.
See, the funny thing is, I think that the song that he ended up remixing with Beyonce was perfect, and like that was kind of funny for me because when they did that, it was just a little bit of like, what is Ed Sheeran doing on this song if Beyonce's there? You know, like it was like when they were going back to back alternating verses, it was like, oh my God, that they are not. But I love Ed Sheeran's music. And like you said, my sister definitely went to one of his concerts, and like just what he was able to do with such little stuff. Like he's kind of the polar opposite of a lot of the guys that we've talked about, and he still puts on a phenomenal concerts.
Yeah, I haven't heard all of his albums, but Shape of You is just like an all-time jam to me. Anytime it comes on, I'm digging it. If you're into Latin music, check the Zion and Lennox remix. My favorite remix of all time. So Ryan, you've got two back-to-back. What's your second?
My second, I'm picking Josh Groban. I think Josh Groban is one I've listened to as a child. The top Christmas album of all time, hands down. So I got Christmas in my portfolio. I think he is the best, under Andrea Bocelli, he has the best pop opera voice out there. I mean, he's saying the iconic "You Raise Me Up." He's singing the Columbia Crash. He sings it at different events. He just comes out with great songs and great songs and great song. February song, Remember When It Rains, My Confession. I mean, and I just love his voice. He has such a beautiful voice, such a deep voice, and he's my third pick.
So my favorite Josh Groban song is the one where he sings Kanye's tweets. If you haven't seen that video from,
that is a good song. He also has an album of Donald Trump's tweets as well. Check
those are hilarious. He has the perfect voice for that kind of medium where he's just singing nonsense, but like his voice is so beautiful, it doesn't really matter what he's singing.
Yeah, personally, I haven't heard a single Josh Groban song. I've seen him twice on the We Are the World, like the second one they did, the recent one he was on there, and he's on Parks and Rec as a guest appearance. Those are the two times I've seen him.
In The Office.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Where was he on Parks and Rec?
And he's
at the Treat Yourself in LA in like the last
Oh
season.
yes,
the Josh Groban soft shell crab.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And he's ordering his own sushi.
Right.
I'll have to listen to the Christmas album.
Father is hell.
I think Michael Bublé or Casey Musgraves probably has the best Christmas album, to be honest. But I'll check this out and let you know. Shahan, your third pick. What is it? What do we got here?
All right. I mean, honestly, to a certain extent with this draft, it's like, I mean, I definitely would have considered picking some of the guys who were ahead of me, but this is like the point where it's just like, I just know that we're all going in our own directions at this point. And so I'm going to go with the first artist album that I ever owned, and I'm going to go with U2. So U2, been doing it since the 1980s. Now, I'm not going to say that their stuff that's in the 2000s is as good as some of the stuff from back in the 80s, but again, another group that has just unlimited range, unlimited albums, unlimited sounds. I think that they've really been on the cutting edge of really trying to sort of move rock and alternative music forward. I think that's a big part of them. They were one of the first bands to really do a lot of stuff with sort of the pedals on guitar and stuff like that. Like that's really what they're known for. Bono, one of the greatest humans living alive right now. I think that, both on and off the stage, I think he's really a phenomenal person and a really cool activist. Look, we talked about this a little last night. I know that people love to hate them because, they accidentally gave free music or whatever. But to me, they are one of the greatest bands of all time. And between Jay-Z and U2, I mean, I could listen to music for like 20 years and not run out of music.
Well, it's a beautiful pick for a beautiful day.
What?
I know what you're doing. He's referenced the song.
Anyways,
Dave,
that's the name of the song.
Do that.
Yeah.
No, I got that, but like, what a random reference to a song.
I didn't even know. I figured that's what it was. I don't listen to U2, but I know Shahan's a big fan. And yeah, Bono, I've seen a couple of interviews on like Jimmy Fallon. Really good. Like you said, he's a good activist. He's also like an investor. He's worth like 700 million. That's so badass. So yeah, a good pick there.
Whole package.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about money, Shahan is definitely winning in that regard.
I don't know, man. Kanye is worth a lot now, right?
Yeah, but Shahan's got like basically two 500 millionaires, three 500 millionaires.
And Kanye's worth a ton of money in the same way that Donald Trump is, which is that we don't really know. He just says stuff.
Well, he's worth money in the sense that they evaluated Yeezy the company at 3.3 billion, and he has 100% stake in the company. So that's where the money's coming from. But it's hard to say what the value of a private company is, right?
All right. Well, right here, I kind of want to take Kylie Jenner singing that one song to her baby, just so I can, match up with the net worths out here. But
Smells
right
like
here,
porn here.
like I said, I knew these rappers would come back to me since Dev wasn't picking. There's two that I'm really considering here. One's like a all-time great, but I've never seen him live, and there's only a couple albums I really enjoy. So I'm gonna have to take it with someone who's really hot lately, been jamming to his last three albums, and it's someone me and Dev saw. I'm gonna take Travis Scott right here. I just really love Travis Scott. He's like the perfect music to like jump up and down to, mosh to, just everything. You feel so good listening to Travis Scott. La Flame. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna have Kanye, Drake, and Travis Scott. As you can tell, I listen to a lot of hip hop. I do listen to other genres, I promise, but yeah, I'm happy taking Travis Scott.
I think if there was any doubt that Ashish had the Brown Boy vote locked down, he now has it with Travis Scott. Like, Brown Boys out here jamming to Travis Drake and Kanye like no other.
Oh my god, that is. Oh my god.
I like that name. I like that
This
name.
is like taking Dirk in the NBA draft, just being like, oh, Dirk and Kobe. If you get Dirk and Kobe, that's basically what Ashish just did here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ryan tried the Dirk and the Nash thing, didn't work out too well. But yeah, I mean, like these are the people I listen to the most. We've been to their concerts. I've seen it. I really love it. Dev knows I love him.
I absolutely love Travis. He was going to be one of my next two picks, so I think it's a good.
I feel like I know who you're going to take at least one of these next two, so I'm a little worried there, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we love Travis. We had a really good time at the Astro World tour. The concert we went to. Definitely need to go to the festival at some point. But Dev, you got two back-to-back picks here.
I like that singer. I like that rapper's name. It has a nice ring to it. Two first names.
Travis Scott. So his first name is actually Jacques.
Real last name is Webster.
Yeah. Jacques Webster. He got Scott from Scott Muscudi, also known as Kid Cudi, who's his favorite artist of all time. Oh shit! Is Dev gonna take Kid Cudi over here? We'll see. But yeah. So yeah, I like his name too, and he's into it. Oh shit! I wanted Kylie Jenner. I basically got her too. All right, go Dev. Two picks.
Yeah, so Kid Cudi is definitely someone I was considering, but I'm not going to take Kid Cudi with either of these picks. The first pick, I'm going to take a legend. He's been doing cocaine raps for the 2000s at the highest level possible, and that's Pusha T. And here I got a signed album of Pusha T's. I actually have two of them. Here's a signed My Name Is My Name. I really was hoping I could get both Kanye and Pusha T, so then I could have Daytona, because Daytona is one of the best records of the 2000s. I really love that album. But Pusha T, I mean, when it comes to cocaine rap, there is no one better than Pusha T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pusha the T on that one.
I give you my stamp of approval with that. We both love Pusha T, dude. Pusha T's really hard. Obviously, I'm a bigger Pusha T fan than I am Drake on the battle beef thing going on. I just think Drake has more hits. But yeah, dude, Pusha T, underrated for so long. My Name Is My Name is like one of my all-time favorite albums. It's something that I bump in my car all the time. And like you said, Daytona, one of the best records.
And obviously, we're not getting groups, so I won't get his earlier work. But if you haven't heard the Clips albums, Hell Hath No Fury, Lord Willin', go check them out. They're amazing, amazing albums. And him and his brother really have great chemistry. So Pusha T is an absolute legend.
For sure. All right, Who are you taking right here?
All right, well, you guys were talking about Christmas albums, so you inspired me to take the best Christmas album of all time, and that is Run the Jewels 3, because it was actually released on Christmas. So I'm going to take Run the Jewels with my fourth pick. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. Run the Jewels, if you don't know who they are, they're a rap group with Killer Mike and LP. LP does all the production as well. Both who have had legendary underground solo careers have come together, and they've had a legendary start to their group career as well. Run the Jewels 4 is coming out soon. The two singles off of it are amazing so far, and Run the Jewels 3 is probably one of my most played records ever. I really love this group. Killer Mike has just so much raw emotion, and you can feel, and he's a political activist. He says so much in his lyrics, and they have some of the best music videos ever too. I'm a big music video fan, and if you can bring a song new meaning through the video, I think it adds another level. And all of their music videos tend to be very politically focused and bring new meaning to the songs, and I really enjoy that about them.
Yeah, Run the Jewels is actually a really fantastic group. Like you said, the production is like amazing. The lyricism's fantastic. I know Shahan's seen them at like an Atlanta Hawks game, right? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Saw
sorry,
him
I
at a
didn't hear you.
Hawks game.
Yeah, yeah. See, I know these things. These are my close friends, guys. But yeah, really good group. I was kind of surprised you took them here, to be honest. I think we're going 5 rounds, and to be honest, I think I'm just gonna go all rap now. I sold myself here. I have a lot of genres listed here, but oh, you know what? No. Scratch what I just said. I'm just gonna take a little pick out here. Let me jingle up my eyes here. I'm gonna take Ariana Grande right here.
Oh, dang it.
You
What
know,
a
I
grande
just thought after this pick, I was gonna take someone else, another rapper, but then I was like, Dev might take Ariana, and I might not get her, so I'm gonna take Ariana Grande here. I really love
You have
her.
both your picks before him.
I was actually planning to take Ariana Grande. So
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna go all rap, but no. Let's switch it up. I'm gonna take Ariana Grande. Her albums are amazing. Nicki Minaj said it herself. She runs rap, and Ariana runs pop. I have cousins, family in UK that are huge fans of Ariana, but you know, I think she puts out amazing work. Her social media is fantastic. I think she's just an incredible person. Of course, we were super hyped when she was dating Big Sean. Hopefully, Dev doesn't take him. But yeah, so I'm happy getting the queen of pop right here.
What's your favorite song?
Probably the one with Big Sean. I'm not going to sing for you, by the way, Ryan. That's not happening. Maybe another time. But yeah.
Actually, my favorite Ariana song is the first song I ever heard by her, and that's Honeymoon Avenue, because I checked out that album when it came out, and it's just an amazing, like, 7-minute ballad. Really well done.
Right, and I don't know if I think it's on her album, the one featuring The Weeknd. Forgetting the name. I'll come back to it. But yeah, that song's really good. Love Ariana. Got her on my team. Whoop whoop. Shahan, back to you.
That was Grande surprise.
Crickets.
Well, congratulations on getting a handful of Disney shows too, I guess. I'm going to go
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Oh, did I say? Yeah. Nickelodeon shows. Whatever. I am going to go completely off the wall here. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the show, I listen to music for different reasons at different times, right? So I think that you can see that with my draft board. You know, I've gone a lot of different directions. We're gonna go with writing music right now. We're gonna go with one of the greatest musicians and composers in the history of music. Okay, we're going with John Williams. So with John Williams, you're getting Star Wars, you're getting Harry Potter, you're getting Jaws, you're getting Superman, you're getting the Olympic theme, you're getting the Sunday Night Football theme. Like, when you look at John Williams' music across the board, it is astonishing. It is absolutely astonishing. Did you know that the only person with more Academy Award nominations than John Williams is Walt Disney himself? That's it. That's the whole entire list. If you're going to listen to anything relatively modern soundtrack-wise or orchestral, that is the move. You have to go with John Williams. This actually came up a few weeks back because somebody asked, you know, who do you like better, John Williams or Hans Zimmer? And like, Hans Zimmer's a legend, right? Like, he did Inception and all that sort of stuff. But what a fucking joke to even put them in the same category. It's absolutely disrespectful. John Williams, my number 4 pick.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories from band, actually, Ryan and I were in the same band, is when we played that John Williams mashup song, and it was amazing. Like, just hearing all of the ones. One of the ones you didn't mention is the NBC theme song, which was an absolute classic. So John Williams has hits, man.
He's got banger after banger. And like, the thing is too, you know, my hot take about John Williams is that if anybody other than John Williams made the Star Wars soundtrack, it would have been a standalone movie. It would have been a standalone movie if not for John Williams.
When you mentioned his name, I had no idea who you're talking about, but now that you mentioned all his work, that's really fantastic stuff. Don't make faces out here. Don't make faces out here. You think you care about the shit? No. But anyways, that's really
Ashish,
good.
we were in the same band. You
No,
had
no,
to
no, we
learn the
were
John
not.
Williams theme
I was
too.
better than you and Ryan. I'm sorry. I was in symphonic. You guys were in concert. Get
We
your shit
still had
straight.
to learn the same song.
We did not learn the same
None
song.
of you guys were an honor band? Come on.
Wait,
man.
Honor Band did Honor Band play that song with us?
I
Ryan,
highly
I'm
doubt
pretty
it.
sure Honor Band had to learn it to play with us.
I was in the UT Longhorn marching band, and that's the most important part.
All right. Well, anyways, I did not play the song, but I had no idea who it was. But now that you mentioned it, he did obviously a lot of incredible work. All right. And just real quickly, the song was "Love Me Harder" with The Weeknd, and
well,
Seven Rings and Thank You Next. Fantastic. Ryan.
Basically, every major franchise over the last 50 years that has great soundtrack music, it is because of John Williams.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Ryan.
I would have never thought to go in that direction, but that is a fantastic pick going in that direction.
You got
did
two
John
picks,
Williams do the Minecraft soundtrack? Because that soundtrack is a banger.
I am not aware of him doing the Minecraft soundtrack. No.
So not every major franchise.
All right, Ryan. 2 back-to-back picks. Who do you got? I think these are the last 2 right here, and everyone else just has 1. So what's up?
This is an interesting position because I have a long list of people that I considered for these last 2 picks, and I have to choose 2 of them. So I just want to say no disrespect to anybody else on my long list. I just have to choose 2 of you. I think I'm gonna go with a legend on this one for the 4th pick. I'm gonna go with James Taylor. I think for me, there's a little recency bias. I've been listening to him quite a bit recently, but I mean, he's put out albums decade after decade after decade after decade, and hits decade after decade after decade. And he's a great writer. I like the songwriters that have good writing skills and good meaningful songs, and I think he does a great job with that, with Fire and Rain, with You Can Close Your Eyes, with probably his most iconic song, You Got a Friend in Me. I mean, I think he does it well. He's smart, down to earth. That's my 4th pick.
I do have to jump in and say that I do appreciate the phraseology of James Taylor might be recency bias.
Ryan, to be honest, I didn't think you're going there. I thought you're like showing your cards by saying I'm going to take a legend. I thought you're hinting who you're taking there, but all right, yeah. That one song, I've heard that song. It's a very good song. So nice pick. Who's your? You got 2 back-to-back. Who's your last pick overall? What are we going with?
My last pick is going to be. This is tough. I have one in mind, but now I want to switch it, but I don't. There's a lot of good singers.
Hey, Ryan, if this is any benefit to you, there might be part 2, and I think you'll probably be the only one selecting the other person. So just choose one right now and let us know who it is right now.
I'm going to choose One Republic.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Again, their lead singer is Ryan Tedder, a phenomenal songwriter. If you've seen the show Songland, he's phenomenal at writing lyrics, at producing the songs. He plays multiple instruments. He's got one of the most iconic songs of the decade or of the 2000s in Apologize. Hands down. He wrote song for Beyonce, Halo, which is probably one of her most iconic songs.
Yeah.
So how does that go, Ryan?
Halo, 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 in a halo.
Yeah, that is it.
Great writer, great upbeat band with great lyrics, but also a very positive spin with Didn't I Stop and Stare, Apologize, and they just wrote one due to the pandemic, Better Days, and it's a fantastic song. And it's a very upbeat, positive song. And they have some other Counting Stars, I think, and some other ones, and they're really upbeat, very lyrically.
Speaking of Halo, though, that's another franchise that John Williams does not have a hand in that has fantastic scoring.
Okay, I'm saying movie franchise.
But okay, I love the pick, Ryan, to be honest. What's your favorite song by One Republic?
That's tough. I think right now, you probably a lot of people don't know it, but "Somebody to Love."
Yep, don't know it. For
Someone
me,
put it on Sane Lane. He produced it and he made it in a song.
yeah, I didn't know the lead singer's name was Ryan Tedder because he's been featured on a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
He actually is on the song Rocketeer with Far East Movement too. Anyways, my favorite song, Counting Stars. I think that's a really good jam. I think you've got a great list here. Shahan, last pick. Where are we going?
All right. Well, we're gonna take a potential pick right here, okay? So this is a guy who new to the scene, and I'll say he started out as being somebody who people liked ironically, and this man just put out an EP of bangers, okay? This was my most
Oh
listened
no.
artist last year. We're going with fucking Lil Nas X. Look,
Wait, who?
I
Who?
Lil Nas X.
He's going with
So
fucking little Nas X.
yeah. So the man put out obviously Old Town Road, and it kind of got people made jokes because they took it off the country charts. And then he put out the EP, and every one of those songs was fire, absolute fire. And do you know what? At some point, we're gonna get an album, and I'm sure none of the songs will be longer than 3 minutes, but they're gonna fucking rock. And you know what? Again, this list is about ourselves. I took John Williams with my last pick. I'm gonna close it out with Lil Nas X.
You picked an artist that has 30 total minutes of music released.
Listen, I have the quantity, okay? I've got Jay-Z, U2, and John Williams. I don't need quantity anymore. I am good on quantity. I'm
Dev,
going with the guy that I want.
He has another 300 hours with all the remixes of Old Town Road. Okay.
Oh, you're right. You're
Forget
right.
that. Okay. Well, wow. All right. I know you loved him, but
all of which 51% contain the original, so that they match the Billboard record. The Billboard says you have to have 51% of the same song.
Listen,
So-
even though I'm giving obviously I'm giving one artist who only has 30 minutes of music, I still think combined over my 5 artists, I have probably twice as much music as everybody else.
interesting. I love the quality of mine, to be honest. So whatever. But like I said, we'll have a part 2, and I think my genres will completely change in the next one.
Oh.
But right here, I'm gonna have to take one of my favorites. Just so Dev doesn't take him from me. I'm gonna have to take Big Sean. There's like 2 or 3 other legends out here that I could have taken. I was considering, but of course, I love Big Sean, all his albums. I'm always hyped. Me and Dev have met him. We went to his concert. He puts on a great show. Really cool dude. Very nice on social media. But dude, Dark Sky Paradise, one of the best albums of all time. I Decided was really good. Those are 2 albums I really listen to so often. And like I said, me and Dev used to go buy his albums, and that's usually what's in my car. I still have Dark Sky Paradise in my CD player. So I think I have a good list here. Dev, last
That's
pick.
great.
All right. Well, Ashish ruined my plan for the 5th pick, where I was going to take off my hat and put on my I Decided hat. So I can no longer do that. So,
Sorry, Dev.
well,
See, Dev, you strategized wrong. You should have taken Run the Jewels last, because I don't think any of us are going to take it.
I was actually not going to take Big Sean, but I was going to do that as a joke, just like I planned in case I wanted to go there. But when Ryan talked about the greatest songwriters of all time, and he mentioned Ed Sheeran, I think that songwriting is so complex, and there's so many different aspects to it, and Ed Sheeran is not great at some of the other aspects to it. And the artist that I'm going to take is what I would consider one of the best at that, and that's Bon Iver. So Bon Iver, if you don't know who they are, it's like a little indie band featuring I think there's 5 or 6 people, but the main one, obviously, there's Justin Vernon, and then there's S. Carey, who's the other vocalist on Bon Iver, and they have 4 albums, so not a lot of music, but all 4 albums, and they have a few EPs, but all 4 albums are phenomenal. Really, really amazing albums. And when it comes to writing lyrics, it's not always about the straightforward message behind the lyrics. And a lot of times you can say a lot of things with nonsense. And Bon Iver is the GOAT at making you feel emotions with saying complete nonsense. And if you haven't checked out Bon Iver, Kanye loves, obviously, Justin Vernon. He's featured him on a lot of different tracks. But 22 A Million is one of my favorite records ever, and I really love Bon Iver as a band and an artist. There's a few other directions I wanted to go: Brockhampton, Frank Ocean, some some other people, but Bon Iver is just so legendary. I couldn't leave them off the board.
Yeah.
If you make someone feel emotion, then you're doing something right as an artist.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, they've won actually quite a few awards too, and like you said, I learned from about them via Kanye West. But yeah, they're really good. They won like Best New Artist in 2012. They won the Grammy for it. A couple other things. So just quickly, let's just go over our boards real quick.
Hey, I got something to say too about Bon Iver.
Okay.
I think that it is no more obvious at this time that you went to college and worked at first among white people in Indiana and North Dakota than taking Bon Iver with your fifth pick.
You know what's crazy? Not a single one of my friends from North Dakota or Indiana like Bon Iver, but a lot of my friends from Texas do. Isn't that crazy? You would think
That's
that.
so weird.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was talking to my friend Taha about it because we love Bon Iver and we were geeking out. And I was like, man, I went to Indiana and no one liked Bon Iver in Indiana, which was crazy to me. The biggest artist when I was in school there was G-Eazy, actually. People from Indiana love G-Eazy. I cannot understand why.
Perfect.
Yikes.
Larry Bird and G-Eazy. I'm shocked.
All right, well, Ryan, how about you kick us off? Just mention your draft board real quick and what you love about them real quick.
The Beatles, Ed Sheeran, Josh Groban, James Taylor, and One Republic. I like the songwriting in this group is stellar. There's a couple different genres, really strong voices, singing voices. They can do it live easily, and I think they span a wide array of years and decades. And so I just like the diversity and the legendariness of these picks.
Yeah, no, very good list here, I think. Got a few of my favorite. One Republic and the Beatles, of course, really good picks, I think. Dev, your draft board.
All right, so unfortunately, I lost number 1 and 2 on my draft board before I even got to pick, which was horrible, and I'm still really upset. But I did manage to salvage it by getting 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on my draft board. So I've got Taylor Swift, I've got Bon Iver, I've got Run the Jewels, I've got Kendrick Lamar, and I've got Pusha T. So I think my draft board is still really solid. It still shows the music that I love, obviously minus my 2 favorite artists.
Yep, no, really good board. I like how you bounced back from losing your top 2 picks, to be honest. I think you got a really good mix there. I haven't listened to Bon Iver that much, but I'll check him out for sure.
715 Creeks. Check out that song. It's amazing.
Will do. We'll talk more after this. Shahan, draft board.
Well, first I have to throw a little barb at Ryan, who pointed out that his board was very diverse when he's got a draft of 5 white people. But so I went for some of the greatest artists of all time. I went with Jay-Z, the #1 rapper of all time. I went with Beyonce, the current queen of pop. I'm going with U2, one of the greatest rock bands of all time. I'm going with John Williams, the greatest soundtrack composer. It defined the soundtrack era. And then I'm going with a young king, Lil Nas X.
The meme king, the greatest meme artist of all time, Lil Nas X.
The greatest trick that Lil Nas X ever pulled was actually making good music.
Yeah, I didn't mean to like shit on your pick too much because I love 7 EP. Like I think it's an amazing album. So I think we talked about this. It's one of my most listened to albums from last year too.
Yeah. Look, again, I'm buying the stock now, and I know in 10 years we're going to be talking about one of the greats.
Well then, yeah, really good list, I think. Yeah, actually, really, really good. I think with your first 2 picks, you got an amazing group right there. Good couple, interesting picks for sure. So real quickly, my draft board. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the bangers. Kanye West has spoken to me with his albums. Really love it. Sorry, Dev. Then you got Drake. I think he put a great series of 3 albums of Take Care, If You're Reading This Too Late, and Views. And, then I had to follow it up with Travis Scott, probably like the most hyped. For me, it's like every song he's featured on, I get excited just to listen to it. I've only felt that a couple times with some artists. And, of course, I had to go with one of my personal favorites, Ariana Grande. My smile is beaming. Yeah, my skin is gleaming. Woo! The way it shine, I know you've seen it. Woo! There you go, Ryan. All right. There you go.
Did you just buy some new hair?
Does she rap
Yes.
or does she sing?
I know you've seen it. You see this?
Wait, does she rap or does she sing?
She sings. All right. Hey, Ryan, did you do anything?
She does.
No.
She does rap
I
that
did.
song.
I sing Halo.
Yeah. Seven Rings is more like she does like do more talking / rapping. Anyways, I ended up with one of my favorite artists of all time, Big Sean. I knew he wouldn't get selected by Ryan or Shahan. I was a little worried about Dev a little bit later. But yeah, I really enjoy my draft board. My favorite artists, I got them all. And we'll look forward to round two, part two, which I think will be crazy. It will not be all rap for me. But yeah, I think that wraps up another great episode of the Ashish and Friends podcast. Who are your favorite artists? Let us know. Hit us up at ashishandfriends.com, Ashish and Friends on Instagram, Ashish and Pals on Twitter. We always put up the polls after the episode drops. We put it up the day after, so please interact with us, give us a follow. It helps us grow. It helps us keep going. If you have any questions, segment ideas, anything, hit us up individually or please check out Ashish and Friends. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, peace.